Thank you, Ace. Thank you so much. Because I knew there was something else I wanted to do tonight, and I was drawing such a huge blank. Yes, that's exactly what we want to do tonight. Matchmaking won't improve till more people do arenas. Well, that's the thing too, right? If there's only 5,000 people doing arenas split across APAC, EU, and North America, I mean, if you assume, we'll say 2,500 North America, 17, 1,800 EU, and maybe a couple hundred in APAC, yeah, I mean, there's only 2,000 North American players even doing it. You're going to play the same people over and over again. That's just the only people who are showing up. So, but yeah, hopefully that improves. That's what we're hoping for. Hopefully that improves. There's free stuff to claim in the event store. There's a daily claim in here, this aggregation chest. If you claim it all 4 days, you do get a bonus gift. So make sure you are claiming that. Hey, Fister, good to see you. But here's the thing that I wanted to talk about tonight. So some of you free to play people might already be there. Some of you might be getting there very, very soon. I got there today, and I'm going to go build my Reliant. I claimed my 200th blueprint this morning, and now we are going to build our USS Reliant. I knew I was saving this for a reason, and then I totally forgot about it. What is it? It's an Explorer? It should be an Explorer. Bam, there's our USS Reliant. So let's get this puppy built. And again, I think I might have missed like a day or two, so other people might have already gotten it earlier in the week. Free to play. Some of you might also be just getting there pretty close. Hollywood's got 4 days left to go. Sean got it 2 days ago. Some baddie's gonna get yours in 10 more hours, so tomorrow morning you'll have yours. Okay. Okay. Scarin got yours yesterday. Yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna speed this up. And we're gonna build our USS Reliant. And congrats to all of you who got your ship as well. Great looking model. Looks exactly like the ship from the movie that I remember. So great job by the art department. Again, those guys really earn their pay down in the art department. So now we've got that ship. And now let's take a look at her. So just in case where the heck is it? Is it really that far down? It is that far down. Okay. Well, I mean, I guess it is tier one. All right. So the USS Reliant, its main benefit are its special abilities, right? Shields the warp core, preventing it from being affected by the D7 destabilization ability. So basically, that thing that has like a 90% chance to kill you from the hostiles that chase you anytime you go into an augment system, this ignores them. It also gets an incredibly huge apex barrier against those augment hostiles. So again, extending its hull health and making it better against them, but really only a one-trick pony because it doesn't apply, just have high stats like a lot of other specialty ships can. And then it also has an isolytic damage boost against those same augment exile hostiles. It also increases the hijack splicers so that you get the augment loot that you get off the kill. So you can really just kind of set it and forget it, right? Now it does take a bunch of this stuff to upgrade. We do get a whole new refinery tab that's going to open up here now that the ship is built. Where did it go? Well, while we're here, let's claim our ship parts and stuff. I hit my bulk refine button and it brings me into an actual individual thing. What's going on here? Come on. going on with all my graphics? Okay. All right, so we go into our faction store here. First off, we have a Reliant Mega Claim box. This one right here, using your common splicers, is going to give you guaranteed tokens, as well as Wrath Choice tokens, as well as Reputation, as well as ship parts and Tritanium, which is always fun. We've got plenty of these commons, so let's double pull this. That'll give us a bunch of common tokens, so we can basically keep sourcing a lot of our stuff. With our common tokens, we can get our planetary surveys, right? So we can keep getting our charts here to do our priority 1 away team missions. You still can do your common polls, maybe, or any of these ones, or at least get closer to them. Then you have a second box that opens up. This one takes uncommon, and again gives you additional planetary charts as well as away team speed ups. Okay, that one seems like a decent one to get for now. So let's go ahead and take that. We also have a Forbidden Tech claim that's also using uncommons here. It's giving you fusion rods, tier up catalysts. What's the chance? You're guaranteed to pull one of the following. Okay, so you're only pulling one of. Catalyst, protomatter, or reactor. So the fusion rods are guaranteed, and then you get one of these other things. I think I'm going to skip that one. You do get more of these common Wrath recruits. Obviously, you can keep pulling this stuff if you want to try and source these officers. Hey, I don't have Darwin unlocked yet. Sure, let's go for Darwin. Yeah, we got Hadley. And then obviously you can use the things for your projectiles. You can still keep sourcing your techs and whatnot. Now, having the Reliant, there's also, well, first off, there's a tier up gift. Just for having the Reliant, you get this one-time claim. Okay, that looks pretty good. So I get a little bit more of the credits. Plus, I get a common Reliant choice token. This is another fun little feature we get, which gets you a nice little shards of a handful of these officers. Pike is already maxed. 5 of 11 is already maxed. And it's a common token, so I guess the only person I have to spend it on is the Borg Queen. Okay, I guess so. Because I have to imagine when you get the Reliant tiered up, these other people unlock, but I'm going to have to imagine it's a different token. And one of you guys can confirm that for me. If any of you guys have your Reliant to tier 5 or tier 10, it's a different token, right? Yes. I'm seeing yeses in the chats. So these are your 3 options. Well, since I already have these 2 maxed, I'll just go ahead and take this one. Thank you for 30 Borg Queen shards. MJ, you got yours yesterday. Congrats. Chris has got 9 days to go. Okay. Archon's champion stuff all still stays the same. But we also get a couple new things added down here as well. And these are some different of those crew allocations. So you know how in the, let's just back out for a second. So obviously we have these wonderful things in our away team research for doing our priority 1s, these allocations that make the different officer groups cheaper to unlock and upgrade. We've got Strange New Worlds, Voyager, Strike Team, Enterprise E, plenty of groups in there, right? Awesome. Well, now they added a few additional ones because there's a couple that they didn't cover. But they put them in here and they tied them to the Reliant. So now we get affinities or allocations for the Retaliation Squad, the Symbiosis crew, the Galaxy Quest crew, the Mirror Universe, the NX-01 group as well. So you've got these 5 right in here. They appear to take a large amount of common or uncommon materials. And the percentages are also lower, right? It's only going up to 50% at max because these are newer officer groups. Whereas some of the older groups, like your TNG group, might go up to like 150%, and like your Ferengi might only be 100%, or your Enterprise E group might be 100% because that's a newer officer grouping. These guys are only 50% at max for some of these reductions. But given that some of them, especially like Galaxy Quest, maybe some of these officers are a little harder to source. You'll take any reduction you can get for them, right? Symbiosis has some decent sourcing. Retaliation Squad is great for PvP. If you want to work on those officers, the NX-01, well, most of these guys aren't all that helpful. They have very specific abilities. Phlox can be good for PvP as well. Below deck, I'm sorry, on the bridge, his bridge officer ability can be helpful for PvP. But that one's actually 100% grouping, so that's a little bit better there. And then there's a couple other ones that have to require the Alliant to get to a higher tier where you get some other additional researches and favors that you can get. Okay, so now we have to kind of know what we need to get here. But let's just say hypothetically I wanted to make my retaliation crew. Those guys have some good below deck abilities. Let's take that. And all those guys just got a little cheaper, right? They just got 5% cheaper. And they are in the Section 31 store. Yeah, they're down here. So now these guys are all a little bit cheaper. You can still see their old values here, but if I click on them, actually I think I have to go into the officer tab now to see it. If we go to group, they're going to be down here towards the bottom. So they all got a little bit cheaper compared to where they were just a few minutes ago. You saw I was like, 3 out of 118 or something like that, and now I'm 6 out of 109 because of that tiny little efficiency. Not much, but at least it's starting to move things in the right direction. Iron Fister, good to see you, buddy. Thank you very much for the resubscription. 12 months now. Appreciate that. All right, so that's all the fun stuff I think that's going on here. We talked about our new claims that we do get. All of this stuff is the same. You do have these new items down here. There's also a tier up gift. Every time you tier up the ship, you get additional credits and tokens. So now it just becomes about upgrading the ship, and you kind of just go park it somewhere and forget about it. Now, bear in mind, it's a level 1 ship, right? The cargo capacity on it is not great. Cargo capacity is 3 million. The protected cargo is 378,000. You're probably going to hit your protected cargo cap pretty quickly. This is why you'll see people recommend, and we were talking about this when the ship was first released, if you're going to auto set it, the ship does so much of the work for you, and especially the low level hostiles you're going to be farming for a little while, put a protected cargo crew on the ship. And that's where we're going to start, right? Where's our... What the heck did we do here? Why are they not in the right spot? There's the warp engines. There's the cargo bay. So let's upgrade that one first. Let's get more base protected cargo here. That'll push it up to 500k. So let's start with that one. So contrary to popular belief where we always do like weapons and things first and the cargo bay and the warp drive are like the last things you upgrade here. What's the warp range? Warp range starts at 63, so we're going to upgrade that one too to make sure that it can reach stuff, because now we're up into the 80s. Can't do the shields or the armor just yet. So when in doubt, upgrade a weapon, and might as well start with the one that's going to fire first. So then what I would want to do is I would want to go to cargo protection. And let's see who we have available. We've got DuPont. You've got protected cargo. You've got protected cargo space. You actually reduced my protected cargo. No, thank you. There we go. So protected cargo, protected cargo, protected cargo. And we just took it from, it was 500K before. Now we're up to 640. Okay. I'm not worrying about lower deck slots just yet, simply because I don't have any available. Also, Barclay, I believe, is on this ship out here, which is currently mining in transition space in the token system, and I don't want to pull it back just yet. But good call out, Carissa. Good call out. You should obviously lower deck slots with people who add protected cargo or cargo capacity. Protected would be ideal. I don't know. Let's go try like the 34s. Let's just start here. I don't know what I'm going to be able to start with or whatnot. So, Ice Wolf, good to see you. Oh, now see, here's one of the... Now, normally, this thing would have a chance of killing me because it has the destabilization ability. They say it's 30% chance, right? I feel like that happens more than 30%. And then these auto guys who normally chase me down and kill me. Again, these guys are dropping double the normal amount of stuff, relatively speaking. All right, so the 34s went really easy, so that's probably a little too low. Now let's jump up to 38. 30% chance you live is more like it. Absolutely. Let's see where we're at here. Let's get a new chaser, please. And of course, the other advantage to doing this, not only is it helping with your daily process, get that completed faster, or your refinery and your faction store, because now you don't have to actively grind these things or hunt for stuff. You kind of just set something AFK for a few minutes while you're doing other stuff. But it's also giving you some more of these pulls, which will help your cons champion runs and things like that too. So you're getting more of this stuff. Yeah, so this one has a 90% chance to kill me. Normally. And the Reliant just says, nah, we're good. And if we go look at a battle log, again, even with the full protected cargo crew and I have no below deck slots, right? We took the fight to 2 rounds because I'm just doing so much more damage to it than it's doing back to me. So this seems to be a fairly straightforward process. It's just about finding your sweet spot, right? Finding the spot where you can get your loot fairly quickly. Fairly quickly. Ice Wolf, I see your question. We'll talk about that in just a minute. Don't think I'm ignoring you. Let's go up to a 42 and just gotta find that sweet spot where I can just leave it alone for a while because I don't want to, I want it to obviously get to a decent amount of its cargo. But I don't want it to feel like it's just sitting here all day. Yes, OPC hunting will be a huge thing. People love to just come through and OPC hunt, which is why, A, we started with the protected cargo crew. And B, I don't recommend doing this like overnight. I would recommend doing this when you're doing something else. Like if I'm going to go, oh, I have to go do my dailies. All right, great. Let me set a Reliant AFK in the system, and then let me go do some of my dailies. And then by the time I'm done with those dailies, okay, so that guy just killed me. All right, well, that's interesting. Well, he's a lot bigger. We didn't do much of a dent in that one. Let's see if we can find. Let's go back here for a second. Let's just take the rest of that ship XP so we get that first slot opened up. And now let's see if we can't go get Reg here. We'll put him in that slot. And now my protected cargo went up to 674. So we were like 625 or 630. Now we're up to like 670. Okay. Bud says it's slowed down a little bit, the OPC hunting. Yeah, but now that the free to play are all getting it, that's going to become a thing again. I would expect. We're all going to be getting our new ship. We're all going to be testing it out. They're going to know that, hey, there's a whole new crop of people who are suddenly getting this ship. We're just going to have them out there at tier 1, tier 2. There's going to be some free stuff to go get, or some people to annoy, or whatever the case may be. Oh, there's an alliance that we don't really like. Well, let's go kill all their OPC Reliance. Albus, good to see you. Welcome on in. Thank you for following the channel. You normally watch my vids on YouTube. Well, I'm glad you're able to catch part of a live Twitch stream. Yeah. All right, so we can't get that guy because he's just too big. But let's see if we can't get one of these 42s. This is Mort111. Thank you also for the follow. Appreciate you being here. It's 1 a.m. in Scotland. You're a little restless. Okay. Hey, I mean, we try to engage with as much of our international community as we can. And you guys are a valued member of the community over there in the EU and APAC as well. I'm glad to see you guys have more content creators there popping up now and really filling that in. For a while, I know there was nobody streaming EU or APAC, and now we have multiple content creators in both regions, which is awesome. Yeah, Ace is right. My stream on Sundays, it's 11 a.m. Eastern time for me, which would be like 4 p.m., 5 p.m. for you. All right, so that guy might have been a little too big. Let's find out. 42. Okay, so the 42s are way too big. A little too big. Let's go back down. Maybe 40's the max. If I were paying attention, I'd actually be looking at the power levels of these things before waiting for them to hit me. But I'm too busy reading chat right now, and you guys are just so happy you're all here. Also, for the lower level players, they are now getting dedicated events, right, that revolve around having the Reliant. as their alternate arc-based events. So we could definitely be seeing more people out OPC hunting trying to get this done because, to be honest, even though you can source the ship at 26, unless you're buying it, it's very, very time consuming and very difficult to acquire all of the materials on a daily basis that you need to claim the blueprints, even starting at 26. So yes, this is a 38 still, so that's only 34 million. That's a lot smaller than the other ones. So we're probably going to have to just camp here in the 40 system for now until I get the ship up a couple tiers. Yeah, so that seems to be the sweet spot. I'm tier 1. You know, the 42s are too strong. The 40s are too weak, but it is what it is for now. So we'll just go with that. Iron Fisher's wondering what crew I'm using, so just to recap that, good question. I'm using Protected Cargo Crew. Since the ship does most of the work and all of the benefits and bonuses come from the extra isolytic damage and the extra apex barrier of the ship, I'm just letting it do all the work. And I'm just going to let it auto grind with the Protected Cargo Crew. And I'm just going to leave it here and not worry about it until the ship gets bigger. Oh, that's somebody else's. And now I can just go back to whatever else I want to do. So that's kind of, the benefits of the new Reliant. If you get it, you get it. And then again, it does unlock a bunch of things as we were looking at here in the faction store. With the additional officer sourcing, some of these extra favors, and then just even having the daily claims, right? Just getting this daily claim box. One, it'll help you with your reputation. This is the only way to get the parts to level up the ship. And then you're also getting little bits of credits. Like your common credits, you're getting 500. Most likely you're getting a double pull of this chest, really. So you're going to get 800 a day just from this box, which is enough to do your planetary charts. Maybe even your common officer pull to keep getting, these Wrath Choice tokens, which you can then use down here on some of your other officers that you might want, like Gwen DeMarco, and you're just like, why, yes, I would like a bunch of extra Gwen DeMarco shards. Thank you. So there's some good stuff in here. And then as you tier the ship up, you get access to some better officers and, some other favors and stuff as well. So, and eventually a superhighway. And that superhighway, as you can see here, runs right through and will take you all the way to the farthest reaches. Instead of spending several minutes, 3 to 4 minutes flying all the way out there or using a warp jump from something, 3.5, 4 minutes or an instant warp jump. Well, now I've got a superhighway that'll cut it down to 30 or 40 seconds, which could be helpful. So there you have it. Any questions about the Reliant? If you're getting Pikemore E-Data is a good crew to use as well. Obviously, you're giving up cargo space. So the 40 got me for a little bit more damage. The 40 hurt. The 40 is way bigger at 127. And the system I'm in, we're seeing, the 34s I kill really easy. The 40s hit me for a lot harder until I tier up. Take me a few days to get that done. Maybe I should move to the 38 system to guarantee I don't get any 40s that randomly spawn to chase me. But then again, if I can only hold 600k anyway, me dying isn't the worst thing in the world. It stops somebody from coming along and taking my OPC. I get to keep it myself. So. And what are we getting? 15,000 base plus other bonuses. Got almost 60,000 off of one of those guys. So yeah, so that's not bad. All right. I like it. Denver wants to recommend an amazing punch-up crew with a tier 1 Reliant. I'm not really going to be punching up anything, but fire away because it might help other people. I promise the stream didn't freeze. I'm just patiently waiting for Denver to type. Full synergy Wesley Crusher. Wesley Crusher? The Wesley Crusher? Your best attack stat officer below deck. Okay. Well, first off, let's go see who we're even looking with here. Let's sort by group. Let's just take a quick peek and let's kind of break this down a little bit. So the Wesley Crusher here, right? So we're talking about he increases weapon damage against hostiles and armadas by 100% of crew attack. So he's boosting your weapon damage up significantly. His officer ability here boosts his own stats by 100%. Okay. Weapon damage. Okay, so you're just piling on attack. He's boosting his own stats. If you give him synergy, it's going to be an even higher here. All right. Let's just hypothetically speaking, right? Let's see what we can do. If only because I'm just blatantly curious at this point, right? So we go look at a battle log. I'm doing 30,000 base damage and like 600k isolytic. If I crit, obviously that's like 5 to 10 times the amount. So I mean, realistically, I could put a crit officer on the ship and, you know, put Hugh below deck as my one slot, and I'd be critting a lot more and probably finishing these fights really fast. But you know what? We've seen math before where it kind of goes crazy, right? Like you put TOS Kirk on a Reliant, I'm sorry, on a Rialta, and suddenly you go from hitting from like 12 to hitting for like 200,000. So maybe there's something crazy and goofy going on with young Mr. Crusher. And let's see what we can do. For science, right? If only for science. If only for science. So we're doing Wesley as captain with full synergy. Okay. So we'd probably want Bev, and then a command officer for full synergy. Well, we could use Picard. Critical hit damage bonus. That could be good. What's Data's officer ability? Boost my piercing stats. Maybe. And what's Worf do? Boost my mitigation. Well, I already have mitigation from Beverly, so I don't think I need that. So let's just try this. All right, you know what? Let's just do that. Let's do Data. No, Data doesn't give, because Data's got the same as Beverly. So then I don't get the mitigation. All right, maybe we don't need mitigation. We're just going to take that for stats. And then below deck, hey, let's just use T'Chak there. More weapon damage. 700% more weapon damage. Let's take it. All right, let's go back out here and see what we can get. Seamus, thank you for the follow. Welcome on in. All right. Let's just see how this does. Maybe I need somebody who's got more attack, according to Denver. T'Chak's not going to do enough. Oh, I killed one, though. Oh. So last time I fought these guys, just hypothetically speaking, the fight went 6 rounds. This is the kind of base damage I was doing, 30,000 and 60,000 base damage. And now we switched it around and we look at these guys here. And he's given 200% of my attack, plus some extra crit and penetration, right? Well, now we're doing 660,000 and 12 million base damage. And if I actually hit a crit in here anywhere, now you can see that's 7 million and 150 million isolytic, which pretty much ends the fight. Again, compared to the previous round, where my crits, I was doing 6 million as a crit on that one. And with these particular guys, we did 150 million isolytic on the crit. So obviously a huge increase to weapon damage. Now, we've got Wesley doing the plus 200% of attack. I've got decent attack stats. Again, I only have one below deck slot. But I did also add below deck. We put T'Chak down there as our one below deck guy. So I'm also getting an extra 700% weapon damage from him. So now the question is if I put somebody who... We can try this because I'm curious now. I'm very, very curious, but we're going to go take this guy first. And just for science, I'll take T'Chak out and I'll put an officer who just has like high attack stats, like Khan or something below deck. Because even that's one that kicked my ass before. 1 round, boom, dead. Because we're just hitting for 13 million isolytic per round. Would Ash Tyler work better because he's cumulative? He does require burning, so you might need more, slots and stuff for that. But, I mean, if you had more officer slots and you wanted to waste Neelix there, I mean, you could conceivably... Where is my Ash Tyler? He may not be. There he is. Increases the damage of the ship by 100% of total attack of all officers. Cumulative at the start of each round also. So here's the other thing too. Not only does he require burning, but he's stacking round after round. And, well, these fights aren't really going more than 1 or 2 rounds anyway. So not a whole lot for Mr. Tyler to do there. All right. But for science, we said we would do this. Let's go attack. Yeah, let's just put Khan there. Now my attack value just went up to 500. So it was about 300k with T'Chak there. Now we're up to 500k. Let's just see what happens here. What's my protected cargo at? Should be like 500,000 now. Yeah, 510. So I gave up 150,000 protected cargo. Which honestly is only like 2 or 3 kills. Just because I want to see some numbers. Let's just shoot that guy. All right. So we added the chalk was at 700% before to weapon damage. Now I added Khan in instead, who boosted my attack higher, which is now multiplying Wesley's benefit higher. And now I'm over here doing 1,000,000 base and 21 million isolytic damage. And the fight is, before I even get to the critical, I mean, eventually I hit a critical at the end, but I mean, we're definitely ending this fight in round 1. So Wesley is definitely, and this is fine too, because if you're, you know, these are people you probably don't use anywhere else, right? Here is my protected cargo crew, right? This is the base damage of the ship. 30,000, 600,000 was my base damage. This was a critical for 300k and 5 million. And now with Wesley over here, again, kind of the same methodology we used to use with TOS Kirk for doing those Rialta events, right? You went from doing 50 damage to doing like 500,000 damage because you're boosting the damage of the ship, the base value of the weapons, which are low because it's all in the multiplier, by the attack value stat. And if you just stack it with somebody who's got really high stats, I mean, we're doing from 50,000 and 300,000 to 1,000,000 base and 20 million isolytic. I mean, this is fun. And again, it's using an officer you never use for anything else. So I don't mind at all having these guys just sitting out there. You know what'll be the real test? If I get this. Let's see if this guy... If I can get over here, if I can take out this thing... Yeah, I mean, eventually adding FTs and stuff will also be helpful. You know, once I get the slots unlocked and getting more officer slots below deck as the ship upgrades a little bit. Hey, would you look at that? That hurt a little bit. That hurt a little bit. Let's see how the 42 does. This is the 42 chaser that killed me before. The level 40, I'm sorry, the level 50 other hostile killed me before. Bam. You know, when we fought this guy before, fight went 3 rounds. We barely did any damage. We basically got our ass kicked. We swapped crews, sent young Mr. Crusher. We took shield damage, a little bit of hull damage for sure. But the fight only went 2 rounds. And would you look at that? Maybe if I had Bev instead of Picard, I would absorb more of this, because we're only blocking about 50% of the standard damage. But again, not much is getting there. And if I had another officer who was devoting more to the shields, although the shields go almost all the way down, I don't know that it would matter. If you had like a Carol or somebody below deck, that would divert a little more to the shields. Yeah. But now we're not only just getting the high value of the common, we're also getting a little bit of the uncommon loot as well. And that's right here on tier 1. So what's below deck here? Yeah, Khan, who has the highest attack stat that I had available at the time. My maxed out Khan. Grush would probably be better because his stats are just super high across the board. But, you know, Khan seems to be working pretty good. And we're already basically at, you know, max capacity here. So I'm already going to have to bring it back. Now, this is the problem. with this ship is that you're going to go OPC pretty quickly. So, and if other people are going to be hunting you, like we just saw that guy with his protector come in, he was looking for some ships to pop. He wasn't hunting, survey ships, most likely. He was looking for OPC Rialtas that he could pop with his big cargo crew. So let's go back and repair. Yeah, yeah, and that'd be the thing too, is what Denver's saying. Like, obviously, if I can survive these guys, and I'm just starting to get OPC here, maybe I'd want to move up a little bit and kill something even a little bit bigger. So that way, right about the point in time where I'd start to go OPC, the next hostile kills me. So that way nobody gets to come by and steal my loot. Maybe I go one or two over, maybe I get to 600, 700K, and then it's like, if I lose, it's only a little bit. But more likely than not, I'm just repairing and sending the ship back out. And again, it's a super cheap ship to repair, so. And then as we get any of these slots or anything unlocked, well, that one I can unlock. Oh, I have to upgrade it to tier 2 before I can unlock the chaos slot. So we'll have to wait on that a couple of days. Anything else I would want to think about? Oh, we were talking about if I swap data out, right? Well, let's just take a look at that in the battle log for a second, too. So let's look at our, whoops, wrong button. Let's just look at this battle log real quick here. So I'm shooting it for 10, it's mitigating 7. So it's mitigating 70% of the damage. Even though I'm going with the triangle. It's got no ISO defense. So the more the ISO damage you do, the better. But yeah, it's mitigating, even with data, it's mitigating almost max of the damage anyway. So are the mitigation stats just that high compared to my piercing stats? Yeah, I mean the piercing stats are fairly low, relatively speaking. So even with data multiplying it by 240%, he's not really doing a whole lot because the base values are just too low, that his 240 isn't adding enough. So if we swapped him in for Crusher, would that help me? There we go. It's like a whole family thing, right? We'll take mom and dad and pseudo father figure should have been stepdad in alternate timelines was stepdad. So there you go. Benny Hill says you use Strange New World Pike with Sam and Pelia or Una. And the rare Explorer FT to get more hull health. Those are all good options too. Those are all officers that you might rather have elsewhere though. Not AFK farming on a ship. You might rather have your Strange New World Pike and Pelia in more useful places. Warp range is also a factor here. 42 is the furthest I can reach at just tier 1. So let's see Well, we certainly seem to have taken a lot less damage. Um, Now, Bev has less attack, so my damage dealt did go down a little bit. But it doesn't seem like it's mitigating much differently. Still mitigating almost 70% of the damage. So Data really wasn't doing a lot other than just he had better stats, a better attack value. But as far as them hitting me, now I'm mitigating more up front, so I'm taking less shield and less hull health. So Bev is letting me live a little longer. Which could be a good thing or could be a bad thing because now I'm more likely to go further and further OPC. So something to play with, something to think about. Thank you, Denverstone, for the crewing and for giving us this time to do this little field test. This was certainly fun. And hopefully we learned some new stuff about the USS Reliant.